Tonight on Inside Story,
I've got style.
she's a one-off, an original,
I was a bit proud of myself for saying that.
smart, funny,
Oh, that's one of my worst nightmares.
and courageous too. She had to be.
No one understood who I was.
She had to fight to become who she is.
Everybody's telling you who you're supposed to be, but you're not.
How a little boy battled to show the world who he really was.
There's nothing wrong with it.
A remarkable girl called Evie.
Coming out was the best thing I've ever done. I was so happy.
Hello, I'm Layla McKinnon. Welcome to Inside Story. The signs were always there. Even as a toddler, Ethan was never impressed by toy cars and trucks. He hated dirt and rough boys' games. It was much more fun playing with the girls, dressing up in his sister's clothes. As he grew older, he felt trapped and desperately wanted to escape, to be accepted as a girl. Then last year, it finally happened. 10-year-old Ethan came out as Evie, a traumatic and perilous journey, and it's not over yet.
My name is Evie and I am 10 and I am the middle child of 5 children. I like mermaids and playing games. It's lots of fun.
Evie is an extremely strong-willed individual. She's driven and confident.
I've got style.
Evie's personality is loud. She also is the type of kid, if there's an injustice, she will let you know about it. She's a very happy child. She's very proud as well.
Before I was Evie, I just felt alone. I felt sad, and the only thing that would cheer me up was playing with girl stuff. Everybody's telling you who you're supposed to be, and like they would tell you, you shouldn't be acting like this, you should be acting like a boy. But I never was a boy.
She had to fight to become who she is, and she made us all listen, and that comes down to her being so strong-willed.
Our love for our child is everything, so she has our support no matter what. She won't be alone.
1, 2, 3. I'm Megan.
I'm Scott.
I'm Taylor.
I'm Zach.
This is Henley.
And I'm Evie, and this is our story. I want to share my story because for people who watch this and see how I came out, it might be a bit easier for them to come out. If you're watching this, look how I've turned out. Look how nice I look. Look what will happen if you come out. It's just worth a try.
I really, really hate born in the wrong body. Evie was born in her body, and Evie's a girl, and she just happens to have a penis. And it's as simple as that.
This has been a process, a journey for at least 4 or 5 years, trying to get our heads around exactly what we're dealing with. It was a real eye-opener, to be honest.
It's just incredible to hear her story, to hear how brave she is. You know, for someone so young, I mean, for 10, I can't remember what I was doing at 10, like, she's, I think she's destined for some really big things.
You feel you're different and you don't want to be who you are, you want to change, and all you want to do is just, like, scream out, like, what you want to be.
When we found out that we were having a little boy, Scott left the hospital doing cartwheels and dancing. He was extremely happy. He was actually getting a boy.
Ethan was always female orientated. It was never like a boy's sort of growing up. Ethan was very gentle. To me, Ethan has always been Evie. As we progressed and got a little bit older, she wasn't keen on sport and wasn't keen on playing with boys' toys and was clearly different.
Do you remember one Christmas you got a TV, a Tinkerbell TV?
Oh yeah,
and I got the cars.
one. I always sort of knew it was going on, and I just thought, you know what, I'm just going to turn a blind eye to it. It never really bothered me enough to say anything. And I kept thinking, it's all right, once she gets to school, the boys, she'll have to play with the boys and they will sort her out and they'll teach her how to be a boy. And once she started school, she just played with the girls and it didn't change. It got worse.
First day of school. First day, I knew exactly. I'm not like these boys. I'm not rough like that. I don't like dirt. And I had Mario figures that I really liked, and we would play with those. And I was always Princess Peach or Princess Daisy. I reckon they just started noticing things were like wrong.
Even when we go shopping, I go, okay, let's go and have a look at the sports section. And it's like, let's go look at the Barbies. So we'd end up off to the doll section and stuff like that.
For years, Jazz felt something was wrong, that somehow she was trapped in the wrong body.
When Evie was about 4 years old, there was a 60-minute special. And on that 60-minute special was a transgender child from America.
Can you remember the first time you thought, I want to be a girl?
When I was 2. I would say I want to wear a dress. I'd always say I want to play with the Barbies.
My friend watched it, she rang me, she told me it is 100% Evie. I told her to F off.
I just want to be a girl. Why can't I be a girl? No one understood who I was.
Children become aware that they are transgendered or non-conforming from as young as the age of 2 or 3. I know of children as young as 3 or 4 saying, why can't I grow a pee-pee if they were a girl? Or I have had little boys say to me that they don't want their penis, or they want boobies like their mum. This is very common.
We looked at statistics and thought, oh, maybe we'll just have a gay son. And, I can so be a gay parent, parent of a gay kid, totally fine. That was the easier option. That was, for us, that was a road that seemed a lot less heartache. So, but it didn't turn out that way.
She's only a child. Just try to imagine the confusion, the torment Evie went through. But you also have to wonder, how did her parents cope? They were strangers in a very strange land too. A little boy who didn't act like one, didn't even want to be a boy. What could they do? Who could they turn to? How could they make things right?
How are you guys going? Good. What have you guys been doing? Well, I've dropped the kids off school. Before I was Evie, I just felt alone. I felt sad. And the only thing that would cheer me up was playing with girl stuff. There you go. Who was Ethan? I don't know. He would play with most of the girls. He would find it hard to play with the boys. If he ever tried to, that day would end up bad. Who'd like to have some lunch?
Things just got a lot more intense with Evie and how she would act, and we kept trying to teach her how to walk. You need to walk like a boy, because just the way she walked was so feminine, and you could see. We thought we had to teach her how to be a boy.
We could go outside as a family. The kids, we'd kick the footy with Taylor and things like that. But Evie was absolutely not having that. Evie would bring a doll out and sit down and play, and was happy to sit there and watch.
All it felt like was you just being the wrong person, and everybody's telling you, you shouldn't be acting like this, you should be acting like a boy. And you just feel really frustrated. You just be like, why can't I be like this? That's not fair.
We thought that it was just a phase that Ethan would probably outgrow. We just needed to be patient in that respect, and that, in time, Ethan will become the boy that was born a boy, but that was never going to be the case, and Evie was going to make sure that wasn't going to happen.
The vast majority of parents say that this is just a phase that my child is going through. And that makes sense, because lots of little girls and little boys experiment.
Oh, Mom!
Parents then, over time, though, realise that this is more than a phase.
Forever I was finding her upstairs in Taylor's bedroom. She would sneak upstairs, steal one of Taylor's dresses and get changed under her doona covers.
You've been like a cure to me. You're my special remedy. I feel so alive. I feel so
Sneaky Evie. I would go right upstairs, grab her wig, grab her dress, throw it on and play. And I just like go like that with the wig, and it would just go like, and it would just go wee.
If she got caught, we'd be going, Ethan, get that off. What are you thinking? It's like, all right.
Those are the things that worried me. I felt really sad that she had to go to those lengths to hide who she really was.
In the end, I think both of us just went, this isn't working. We're not doing the right thing here. It's just making Evie miserable.
She said to me, why can't you just accept me for who I am? And I walked away going, why can't I?
Anxiety, depression, self-harm, suicide. It's very, very common in this group of young people, which is why they need support.
So I went to Scott outside and I said to him, we actually need to do something now. This has gone on too long. And I said, I found that the Royal Children's Hospital in Melbourne have a gender clinic.
Mum and Dad, they were really helpful, and they just said, just remember, if you tell her everything, it's going to help you a lot and you're going to be able to become who you want.
We were pretty much told that we needed to take all the boundaries off. So we went home and we took off all the boundaries and we let Evie play normally with whatever she wanted.
That day, after Mum and Dad came in and they said, all right, you can wear whatever you want today, I was so happy. These are all my dolls. This is Lily. This is Rose. I'll never forget that day. That day, I got to be Evie. This is Sarah. This is Cassidy, my favourite Barbie. The toys, me, my hair, what I get to wear. I got to keep this. It's a pink tutu. It just felt like freedom. I'm doing a second credit on them now.
Oh, she was ecstatic. There was no doubt about it. She was extremely happy. And then she asked Taylor for a old bridesmaid's dress and she wore that and it was horrendous. But she felt like a princess in it, so, and that's all she had ever wanted to dress up as. And it looked very strange at the time, her walking out in a princess dress. Me and Scott were like, holy crap, it looks really weird.
Well, I always wanted a little sister, and then came along this thing.
It was a little bit covert. It was like, oh, you can wear dresses inside, and, but we've got to be careful. The neighbours might see. We're going to get to that stage where you can do what you like, but at the moment, we'll just do that indoors for now.
The rule was, you call me Ethan at school and you call her Evie at home.
We set a date that by this particular date, she will be living as herself, her true self.
I think Evie was bursting to get this out. It wasn't happening quick enough. Everyone was putting brakes on, and it was like, no, I want this to happen right now.
It was really draining for her. She had to act that she was a boy, and she wasn't. And that was really hard.
It was hard, but worst thing that can happen is turning into a boy when you turn 14. Oh, that's one of my worst nightmares. Every nightmare I have is me as a boy.
We thought we were transitioning really nicely, and then one day she just had a meltdown. She was crying. She brought out a note 5 minutes later and said she wants to die. And I went in there and I said to her, I said, what do you mean? And she said, I can't live a lie anymore.
I just felt, why can't I be who I am? And I was just saying to myself, if I was in heaven, I could be whoever I want. And I could have my hair as long as I want, wear whatever I want.
And I said, all right, you can wear whatever you want. And that was her first day out the house, dressed as a girl.
At last, she was happy. She was officially Evie, a little girl at home and in the outside world as well. But it didn't last. It all came crashing down under the weight of heartless teachers and bigotry at school. Fortunately, Evie had her family and a new best friend and mentor, a supermodel from Melbourne, Andrea Perzik.
I've modelled as Ethan and Evie, and modelling as Evie. It was so much fun.
Another smile. Beautiful. Beautiful.
I got to dress up in so much dresses, and I got to wear a tutu.
Yeah, dip that shoulder in.
My name's Andrea and I'm a fashion model living in New York. I'm originally from Melbourne.
Andrea is transgender, but she's really beautiful and she's really lucky. She just said, all right, I'm not going to model unless I can be a girl. And right then they just said, you're a girl then. She's my idol pretty much.
Hi. I'm Andrea.
I'm Evie.
You look beautiful.
So do you.
Evie is an incredible, incredible girl. Unimaginably strong for someone that's only 10 years old.
I recently came out, but what was it like for you? Were you scared about telling people?
Yeah, I think I was really scared because I was worried about, if people would get it. I have to say I'm quite jealous of her experience. When I was growing up, there weren't many public figures and there wasn't as much information about what it meant to be trans. And so I kind of had to just do it all on my own. Whereas, in her situation, her mom just asked her, are you trans? And I'm like, that's incredible.
How do you cope with all the negativity?
Well, you gotta build pretty thick skin. At the end of the day, you just try and concentrate on the positive energy. And the love definitely counteract all of the hate.
I'm just so happy I just got to speak to it. Not every day you get to speak to an international supermodel.
So show me some modeling photos.
She was absolutely stunning.
I love that. That's very Twiggy, 1960s.
She was more beautiful than I could ever imagine. When you were a male, would you ever buy girls' clothes and wear them at home?
Yeah, well, I played with dolls and put on my mum's clothing and raided her closet.
It was amazing. She did give me some really good advice. It made me very confident for the future.
I've definitely found a new little bestie in Evie, a little sister.
What is the dumbest question you've been asked?
What toilet do you use?
It's obvious.
The most difficult thing Megan and I had in the early stages was really being sure that the direction we were taking was right.
We went to the school and we spoke to the principal that we were transitioning. We would like to know whether they would be accepting of us transitioning at school. It was a Christian school. They came back 3 weeks later and they told us that they wanted to transition Evie at school. And we were like, this is going to be great.
Thomas, he's the cheeky one. James, he's vain but lots of fun.
Vain means he's so up himself.
I was getting asked some stupid questions. Though there were also some helpful people at school. There was this one kid who had trouble and just went, no, you're a boy. Every day. And I just said to him one day, I would stop it, okay? You don't stop it, you're gonna learn. And he just said, yeah, right. And I said, say it one more time. And he never said it again.
Good boy. I had complete confidence in the principal at the time, but unfortunately that wasn't the case behind the scenes. Evie had been subjected to some private counselling. The head of primary had given instructions to his other staff that we were not to be, told. So I personally I was livid about that. I was really angry.
A few days later, one of the teachers had said to Evie, boys are to go one way, girls are to go the other way, and Evie's automatically gone to go with the girls. And then this other teacher walked in and he grabbed her and pulled her across the room by her arm and yelled at her in her face and said, "You're a boy, you're going with the boys." And then made her go with the boys. And Evie got in the car that afternoon and she was really upset. And that was the last day Evie was at school. We never put her back. We just decided that was it. This school was not going to be where she needs to be. We'd lost faith by then.
After years of frustration and uncertainty, Evie's life has really just begun. In a couple of years, though, she'll be a teenager. Yet another major upheaval, yet another test. But you can't help thinking that she'll weather this storm too and emerge stronger and more vivacious than ever.
Does it fit?
It's a bit too big.
I don't think so.
First day of my new school, I was wearing my girl clothes, I was wearing my tied up hair, and I got to be who I was. Mum, it's too long, it's below my knees.
We're not tarts, Evie. I'll be honest with you.
I was blown away how good they were. They were just super supportive. From the very first moment, I knew they had Evie's back, and it was going to be a real walk in the park at school. School was going to be a good environment.
I wish that we had transitioned earlier. I wish that we had educated ourselves earlier, because
we fought it for years.
For too long, and we would have been. Life's really happy. Our kids are really happy.
Can we be safe?
Evie's really happy. She's just seriously shining.
Look at the camera. Cheers! I like Solly.
Oh, look, puberty's a worry for any child, let alone a transgender child. So yeah, do I worry about it? Yeah, no doubt it'll hit Evie the same as it has, millions of other kids who go through the same, transformation into adulthood. It's going to be a bumpy ride. There's no doubt about it.
When she's at the correct age, when puberty starts, we'll put her on puberty blockers to delay puberty so that she can actually have more time to think about everything.
Okay, I think we're just going to have to stop that.
And then if she still feels the same at 16, then we'll look at cross hormones. As for surgery, that's Evie's choice. A lot of transgender people decide not to have surgery, and that's their choice. Does that make them any less female or any less male? I know I'm not defined by my vagina, so I'm pretty sure Evie won't be defined by what's between her legs.
If I was ever to have a wedding, I would try and make it on a cold day, because wearing 200 layers of fabric can be hard. In the future, I have a husband and I have 2 children. I live in a beautiful home. Ever since I was little, I've always wanted to have at least a child. And if there was any chance of having a child, I would do it.
The advice I give to Evie and other kids is, hold your chin up high. Don't be ashamed. There's absolutely no reason to feel any shame about who you are. And yeah, have fun, and don't let this hold you back.
I like to look into the future, and even just the other day, a transgender person in Canada was named a judge for the first time. That's awesome. The future, there's nothing stopping it. Next is transgender Prime Minister. Who knows, the future's bright.
People need to understand, this could have easily happened to them. I don't know what happens, but there's this one tiny little thing, and look, you end up like me. People have got to understand, I'm still human. There's nothing wrong with it, and if people do think it's contagious, trust me, it's not.